1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H. Yeah, you let the music keep playing, Mr. Dumb. Yo, tell me whose time it is now. Yeah, just kicking it up here. Start time. Yo, here comes trouble.
Sierra Hotel, Echo, Bravo, India, Romeo, Oscar, Shebiro.
You're a winner.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another, I guess, I don't even know what you call these, an emergency episode of the Comedians Wrestling Podcast, called on via Cow Champions privilege by the current heavyweight Cow Champion, Jason Shebiro.
Thank you. Yeah, we're invoking the 25th Amendment of Cow. This is where, as the champion, you have the right to get on the pod whenever, again, it's in times of emergency. When an episode needs to go down, or if the champion has something very important to talk about, that's the 25th Amendment of Cow. I could get right in there.
Right.
And that's actually something that rightfully so, embrace, right? I mean, you want this pod to be as good as possible.
Well, I
And
mean,
part of that is having the champion on whenever he deems fit.
yeah, I'll say this. Listen, bro. I texted you. I know. See, the thing is this. I have the clip you've demanded to be played on the pod today.
I mean, I think, honestly, as the first kickoff of the episode, just to give people a taste of just how funny and great and amazing, because you and me are best friends. So when we get together, we make great content.
Were best friends. We used to be best friends.
We are and forever will be best friends, hetero life mates. And we just speak the same language. We're on the same wavelength. That's what a best bud's all about. 30 years deep. And the first
you
thing
can't
first,
say if I'm saying we're not best friends, that's a mutual thing. You can't go, oh, we're best friends. That's not a one-sided thing.
Here's what I hear. When you say, hey, we're not best friends anymore, I hear an angry, hurt guy, but I don't not feel the love. In fact, what I kind of hear it as is, I wish I could quit you. You're giving me the Jack Twist. You can't get rid of me, bro. I'm in you.
I wish I had that song, to be honest. The Brokeback Mountain. You're talking about Brokeback Mountain.
I'm talking Brokeback. Let's go.
Brokeback Mountain. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
as one thing, we want to kick off the episode. We need you see the thing is this sound drop from Dirty Work. Let's hear it.
Well, I have the full scene.
Love it.
We talked about this so much on the podcast that we have to play. This is one of Farley's greatest performances, and it has the line which will become its own separate drop on this show. The thing is this,
and it's one of his last performances too.
Things are going to get better. You just hang in there, Mitch.
Thanks for listening, Jim.
Say, listen, pal. You ever need anything, I mean anything at all, you come to me.
Can I stay at your place tonight?
Well, see, the thing is this. I live over at the Y, as you know. I got a roommate, old Jack, who is a little particular when it comes to strangers.
Oh, yeah. Well, no problem. Thanks.
He just got his knee drained last week.
That's all right. I'll find another place.
Well, he needed it, too. That thing was getting a little bit right.
I get the picture. Maybe I'll just sleep in my car.
Old Jack's an odd duck, I tell you. Many times I catch him staring at me sleeping, which is off-putting.
Yeah, I guess it would be, yeah.
His feet bleed.
I don't want to stay at your place!
Point taken. Point taken, Mitch. Some other time, maybe, we could,
No!
go camping.
What?
You know, just you and me.
Okay, let's go.
Mitch and lonely.
Oh.
That's them breaking because he was ad-libbing at the end there, and it was cool. Mitch, he came on to him, and you heard Farley just do a genuine, not in character laugh. What an amazing talent. But anyway, this is the Comedians Wrestling Podcast. We're calling an emergency episode. Shebs, so let's just talk about the Cow title for a second, okay? Just if you guys don't know what we're talking about here, okay? Shebs is the Comedians Wrestling Champion. He's my best friend since we're 5 years old. You know this. He came and attacked me while I had COVID-19 at my house. We were supposed to just see each other social distance, very far apart. He came, cashed in, Cow Money in the Bank briefcase, which you stole from the Supermark. Nick Tulos, the host of the Comedians Wrestling Patreon, who goes to the Patreon bonus episodes with me. You knocked him out, a guy we went to high school with since we're kids. You stole it from him, beat him up, started taking pictures with his dog, stuff like that. I mean, a lot of odd behavior on your part. Then you flew to Hawaii, and you claim that there's an open challenge for the title. If anyone wants to challenge you, except for the fact that you have to come to Hawaii, which is the strictest state in the union to get into because of COVID.
We have the least per capita COVID infections in the entire United
Are you saying
States.
we now? Now you're like a native?
Mahalo, bro. Absolutely. I live here. This is where my residence is. I'm on a lease.
Yeah, so anyway, and so you've said there's no challenge, but you also, and then when you get there, you also have to register the match with the Hawaii athletic commissioner, who's also a personal friend of yours as well, you said?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, Dan. I'm a social guy, right? So I hit the ground running here. As soon as I go any place, I'm making friends quick. And I like my friends at the top of the pops. I like high-powered individuals.
Right.
Game respects game. But look, when you lay it out like that and you explain everything I did to get where I am, from driving to Tulo's house in the middle of a blizzard to flying in the middle of a pandemic into the hotbed of coronavirus, LA, you say it and you're trying to make it sound like I'm some sort of bad guy. What I hear is like, whoa, this was a brilliant, complicated plan, hatched and executed to perfection by a mastermind, resulting in, quite honestly, one of the most well-deserved, earned title runs in all of professional wrestling. Not certainly in the cow title. I'm only the 4th champ, and I'm going to be the last champ. But I mean, I hear a brilliant scheme. I hear a heist of the century. I hear the Waikiki sneaky. And I'm proud of myself. And I'm restoring this title to greatness. I'm helping your podcast out by finally giving these people some bookings they could get behind. I'm restoring the title to greatness. And yeah, there's it on top of all that. As if that wasn't enough, I'm a fighting champion. I got an open challenge. I want the first defense to be against you. I want you out here, man. Come on out.
Yeah, you also said that if we were to fight, it would be at Eva Beach. You've already showed that you have a crew of protectors called the Eva Beach Bad Boys.
Look, they're not a crew of protectors. I told you, when I you know this from when I go to a new place,
yeah,
I make friends quick. Like, people, they just get behind the champ. I have one of those magnetic personalities. Ever since high school, what do we call them? We call them Shebbies. Or I get fanatics, right? I just get, right? Am I making this up? Or there's something called a Shebby, and that's a follower, a disciple, someone who's just a huge fan of mine, right? That happens everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, look, they're not protectors. They're just a group of friends, fast friends. I made close friends, fast friends. Sal Eliazo, longtime listener of the pod, friend of the pod, great guy. Good buddy of mine. I came out here. He was hanging out in Eva Beach with his friends, basically, a bunch of cool guys. And I hung out one night. We just drank. We listened to music. We chilled. We were on the beach. We were vibing. It was just a great time, great barbecue. And I happened to let them know, look, by the way, guys, I'm the champ. I got the belt. And they're like, yo, you're the fucking man. Of course you should be the champ. And let me tell you something. We're going to make sure you stay the champ. And I said, look, guys, not necessary. I can handle myself. Like, no, look, as long as you're here, you're Ohana. As long as you're here in Eva Beach, as long as you're here in Oahu, honestly, this network goes deep. As long as you're here in Hawaii.
Yeah, it sounds like you're assembling like almost a militia. But I also want to say, you're texting me. You keep texting me like we're still bros, and then I'm ignoring you, and then you keep saying stuff like, you're ignoring me, which is, it's such a terrible thing what's happening here, and that you're kind of like blaming on me, like the fact that you're kind of coming at me being like, this is why wouldn't we be friends? Like, what is this? This is a really, like, it's an awful thing. It's a terrible thing.
I just think
then you're looking at the people saying stuff about you, and you're saying they're like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like you're saying
you're being immature. All right. Look, at this point, Dan, you and me have had many fights, especially like the last 15 years when we lived together. We were roommates in New York. We'd get at each other because you're filthy and I'm clean, and you'd leave shit everywhere, and I'd get on you to clean it up, and we'd get at each other's throats. We'd get into fights. That never changed.
Yeah, you're so
we're
clean,
best
bro.
friends.
You have a huge patch of hair over in your lower back, like where people have a tramp stamp. That's not even a possible thing to keep clean. You can't reach it.
Excuse me. Now we're resorting to personal attacks. I can reach it. I got a detachable shower head. It's called my devil's tail. Okay, it's a tramp stamp of hair, and I'm never gonna get rid of it. I love it. I think
you
it looks
refuse
dope
to
as hell.
shave it, and now you're a single man in Hawaii, and you won't shave the devil's tail.
I'm gonna get more pussy here with my devil's tail and back
my
hair
God.
than you're gonna get in your whole life, pal. Okay?
Okay.
Don't worry about me having back hair. It's chill. I'm the goddamn champion, for crying out loud.
Okay. Anyway, can we? So
No. The point. Hold on. The point that you started to make is, and that I want to finish, is that we are best friends.
Would you say
We
that
have
it
been in
stops right
fights
there, picks
before.
up right here?
We have gotten into fights before.
Yeah.
And every time you say this, and I say it too, it's like, yo, fuck that guy. I don't even like this guy anymore. But it's like, we're brothers at this point. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. This is my best friend. This is my brother. It's like family. There's literally, I'm stuck with this guy. That's just how I feel about you, and that's how you feel about me when things are bad. But we always know that we're in too deep. This is it. It's you and me, pal. And when things are good, it's fucking amazing. And let me tell you something. I know you're upset. I understand why you'd be mad right now. But in your heart of hearts, you know that I'm actually doing this for the good of the pod. I'm making the show better. Now that I'm the champion, I can come on whenever I want. I'm coming on all the goddamn time, and the ratings have been up. You can't deny that. I'm a content king. I'm the street whisperer. I'm the kink master, and I know how to cut a fucking promo, baby. And I'm helping the show. I'm helping your belt. I'm helping your show.
Okay. Can we listen? Okay. Listen.
It's because I love you, honestly.
Here's what I want to say. All right, relax. I've said this to you. I texted you.
Where's the decorum? I just cracked open a bev, and no one even asked me what flavor. What kind of show are we running here?
I'm not interested. So the thing with you here is that
it's a GT's kombucha watermelon wonder flavor.
what I want to say to you, okay, and before we get into why you called this, because this is a pro wrestling podcast, and the one thing I said to you is like, listen, I'll respect your champion's privilege, because the cow title means so much to me, and the privilege and the stakes of that title, the honor of being the cow champion, whether you earn it dishonorably, in my opinion, is kind of irrelevant to keeping the sanctum of what it is. You know, I mean, part of my beef with the WWE title right now is that it just kind of feels like a prop. You don't know what you gain from it. You're like, what? I don't really see how Drew McIntyre's life has changed. I don't know what car he's driving. I don't know if he could walk into Vince's office easy. Like, I don't know any of that. They don't show that on the show. All I know is he just gets, like, you know, some more TV time. Is he making more money? I don't know. But with the cow title, you get really ultimate privilege here, and that's important. It's important to understand, like, when someone is the champ. Now, but what I want to say is that, like, you're texting me shit that's like, yo, I said this to you, is that, like, we are like we're still in the same exact spot, and you refuse to realize that, like, I'm fucking livid with you, man. And it almost feels like you forced me to do the pod here because you know I have to talk to you, and you know I have to put my best foot forward, because putting on the best content for the Cow universe and the Cow podcast is like my number one priority. So you know that I'm going to come in here and just like Brett, just like Sean, like I'm going to keep it fucking pro. And it's kind of sickening how that doesn't bother you. That like this is essentially I'm just putting up my game face. You don't care.
Dan, I've known you for a long time. All right. This will blow over. We're bigger than this.
All
Our
right.
friendship is bigger than this moment. And I think, again, I don't want to like keep sounding like a broken record here, because you kind of do. But I'll tell you, this is good for the show. This is good for the title. And
How
honestly,
is this? So what is
honestly,
this? You're
this
giving
might be good for our friendship.
Yeah, but what you're doing right now, like in terms of like, hey, we're talking podcasting 101. You're giving people content on a randomly, so they don't know when to get it. There's no name for what you're doing here. Like,
Well, that's not true. Okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I just can't. By the way, okay, this is why you have me on the show. Okay, because when I come in hot. I bring the fucking thunder. I bring the heat. Right now, I could tell you. Here's the name of the show. I'm gonna do these whenever I want, because I'm the champion. I'm going to come on the show. I'm going to pop in episodes you're doing. Maybe I'll host my own episodes. I don't know. I could do whatever the fuck I want. I'm the goddamn champion. We're going to call this segment in honor of, honestly, the greatest, in my opinion. One of the greatest. Certainly one of my favorite finishers, if not my favorite finisher. The Outsider's Edge. Okay? When champion Jason Shebiro is on the show, we're calling the segment The Outsider's Edge. Because I'm an outsider. I'm a Washington outsider, but I'm a straight shooter. I'm not part of the initial, I'm not part of your world. I'm coming from the outside, baby. This is where the big boys play. Well, this is where I am, and I got edge. I got hot takes. Some people love me. A few people don't.
You know me?
None of them know me. Let's be honest. So this right here is the outsider's edge.
So
Come
you're
alive,
okay. So the
YTP.
cow champion, Jason Shebiro, your official program here will be the Outsider's Edge, and you're
And
going to
look
get
at
back
the
to us on
shoulders.
when to expect this program. What like more details coming soon?
It's like the Spanish Inquisition in that nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, and nobody expects the outsider's edge.
All right, that
It's
got
just going to
dark,
come when it
but all
comes,
right.
baby. It's going to come at an as needed. Okay?
Okay.
So right now, there's a huge story going on, and this is why I call this emergency episode. I didn't call this emergency episode so people could hear you talk about how we're going to be best friends forever, even though you're having a rough patch with yourself right now. That's not what the episode's about.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
episode's
said. Yeah,
about-
exactly. That's exactly what I said.
Here is the episode that
Yeah.
I called the champion, the outsider's edge, coming from the outside in, bringing that edge like only champion Jason Shebiro can. The emergency episode is because we got to talk Adam Pearce. Okay, a while ago,
Wow, this
I
is
fell in love
something
with
you've
this
been.
guy.
This is actually something you've been teasing for a long
I've been teasing
time.
it. I've been teasing it like a nutsack, baby, and I'm ready to pop. Okay,
What
Adam
does that
Pearce,
mean? You tease your nutsack?
You know exactly what I don't, but other people may have. It's certainly happened before. A little tickle. It doesn't
Captain
matter.
Mayhap?
Slapping a tickle. It's not what's up. All right.
Yeah.
Let's not get vulgar. Let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know who this guy is. He kind of came out of nowhere. I was shocked when he started coming in. And I want to talk about my journey with Adam Pearce, and I want to talk about Adam Pearce in general, because right now Adam Pearce is having his greatest moment in WWE history. This is the career pinnacle for his WWE career, in that he might become the champion.
Right.
He might become the Universal Champion. Look, he probably isn't, right? Let's be perfectly honest. But the fact that the guy's got a title shot, that's incredible. So who is Adam
Right.
Pearce, then? Who is he?
I gotta tell you this. I know some stuff about Adam Pearce at this point because it's even WWE is NWA has been pushing some stuff about him, but I know absolutely zero about Adam Pearce. The first time I saw Adam Pearce, I don't know the first time I saw him. I know one of the times that I saw him is this.
And the winner of that match will go on to face Drew McIntyre for the W.
I know that's something that's rewarded for Vince.
He's
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
that was a Vince belly laugh.
This guy,
He's like,
this
you
will
know
get
what?
this will get you a title shot.
Absolutely.
I just know he wrestled in NWA. That's the only thing I know
All right,
about him.
So here's what's up.
And so the first time I saw him in WWE was they were just like, they're like WWE Official, right? Like until this point, it's been like there's GMs, like he's the
Right,
Vegas title. He's like a WWE
Right.
Official, right?
So here's what happened. Mid
And
2020,
I remember the first time I saw him, he was getting signatures from Bray Wyatt, Strowman, and Reigns.
that is not the first time you saw him.
Yeah, that's the
not.
first time I consciously remember, but I know
Okay,
I
'cause
saw him
here's
before
what
that.
happened. Months before, that was on August 28th, 2020. At least 3 months before, all of a sudden this guy's popping up. He's, when people are injured backstage, he's running out to look at them with the referees. When Sasha and Bailey are fighting with each other, he's coming in to break it up. He's semi-booking match, and they don't say who the guy is. They don't say what his name is. All of a sudden, we got the same, bald-headed, goateed,
Right.
kind of jack dude in a suit showing up in some sort of managerial capacity that we don't know what. They don't give him a name. We know he's probably a wrestler because he looks like he could be a porn actor. So we're like, this guy probably has been in the squared circle.
Yeah,
months,
I mean,
I didn't know who
he
this guy
does.
is.
He's got the look. What do you
He's
call
got
that?
the look.
What do you call that? What is like that look?
That look is middle-aged porn actor who fucks teenagers. It's like casting couch guy look. He's a bang bus.
Adam Pearce, if you had his gimmick is casting couch. He looks exactly like a casting couch guy.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if I've ever seen those guys, but that's what they would look like.
It's not. By the way, I'm just equating casting couch is just. I just mean amateur porn. Is what
Point
I
of
mean.
view, amateur porn.
Yeah,
with an interview up
POV.
top.
Yeah.
Like if you're driving and there's a girl walking on the street who's clearly a porn actress, and you slow your car down and with the camera out the window, like, hey, where are you going? What's
Yeah.
going on?
And he's
Oh,
like,
you need a
he's
lift?
like, oh, you turned 18 yesterday?
That's
Like that.
amazing.
Like that's
I'll
the
tell you
guy who
what,
says that.
Did you ever get a lift? Do you ever hitchhike? You ever get a lift? Well, do you ever get a lift from a guy with a big cock? And you're like what? And then they're like, I guess I'll get in. That shit. He looks like whatever those guys look like. And that's
right.
a real pro wrestler look. That's a pro wrestler look right
Now,
there.
and you might think what we're saying right now, this is like, this is a little vulgar. This is a little, and you're like, No, what we're actually doing is making high quality, accurate, authentic observations about wrestling looks.
Look,
What wrestler doesn't look like a porn star?
No, a lot of them don't. It
Yeah.
depends what era. You know, like your
Right.
Shawn Michaels is.
Your Triple
you know,
H's, like
your Triple H's. Those
anyone
look
in
like a certain
DX.
era of porn.
Yeah.
You know, certainly Soul
It's
Man
a
Rocky
DX
Johnson
prereq.
is a certain era of porn. It's a 70s situation.
Right.
You know, I mean, honestly, even Darby Allin, there's a lot of Darby Allin porn out there now. Skinny, emo guys just with fucking loaded, just with absolute units on them, packing heat. They're in there. So
Yeah.
the lines are blurred. But
Okay.
anyway, I digress. The point is, we were seeing some dude acting like he's some sort of WWE official 4 months, and I'm like, Dan, I said to you, I was like, who is this guy that keeps showing up every week? Like, there's a guy who, like, is he a GM? Is he not? Like, I don't know what this guy is or who he is. They've never said his name, but he's in the mix. What's his deal? Now, the episode you're talking about is when he went to the next level. That's when they asked him, whoever asked, I don't even know, was it Vince? I think it was Vince. Vince just orders this dude. He's like, you need to get signatures from Braun, Roman, and Bray Wyatt for a match at Payback.
Right.
And that's when I learned this guy's name. Here's how I learned it. Because when he showed up to get Bray's signature, he got it from the Firefly Funhouse, and he showed up in a post office uniform. And Bray was like, hey, everyone, it's Postman Pierce. And I was like, who the fuck is Postman Pierce?
Right.
Okay? So then I took that, and then I Googled Postman Pierce. I got hip to the fact that his name is Adam Pearce.
Right.
And then I did a deep dip, and I found out that WWE was sitting on an absolute legend and making him act like a fucking Briscoe Patterson stooge. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? So let me explain to you guys who in the world Adam Pearce actually is.
Who in the world is Adam Pearce,
Adam
the
Pearce,
wrestler?
Fandango. Yeah, so
Adam.
he's not Fandango.
Wait, what's
he's
he?
Adam Pearce.
Postman Pierce?
Postman Pierce.
Who in the world is Postman Pierce from the Tag Man? Postman Pierce, WWE Official. Wow, can have to. None of that worked. None of that worked, and it's all. Can we edit that out?
You can do whatever you want, man. I just call for the episodes. I don't edit them. I'm not in production, bro.
Phil saying we can't edit that out. He said we can't edit that out.
All right, well, we're keeping it. So if I find out this guy is an NWA champion, okay, which honestly, one of the most prestigious prizes in the game, right? Let's be honest. It just is, right? I mean,
10 pounds of gold.
It's 10 pounds of gold. If you're a wrestling purist, like, you know how important the NWA title is. It's the title that would have been held by Ric Flair, by Dusty Rhodes.
Would you love if NWA waited all the time? Like, they're like, we need to add it's coming under. It must have chipped a little bit. We need to add. It's coming in at 9.9. You know,
if it's less than 10, they have to, like, solder in some new gold.
Yeah, like we gotta put some more gold on. That's what.
Right,
actually,
and then sometimes in the summer months, like, look, the gold expanded because of the heat. It's 10.01. We got to chisel some off, sprinkle it on Dusty Rhodes' tombstone. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
so Adam Pearce became NWA champion for the first time, actually in Puerto Rico, in 2007. Okay.
Ooh.
So he's been a world champ. And I mean, guys in that era, by the way, who were holding that belt were guys like Christian Cage. That was one of Abyss's.
That's winning
his only run.
A territory title in an American territory.
Raven, AJ Styles was champion around that time. Jeff Jarrett, you know, that's who's that early 2000s era NWA champion. So it's not nobodies out there. Heavy hitters, you know, Raven, Rhino, AJ. It's happening. Christian Cage.
So AJ was the NWA champion?
He was a NWA champion in 2003. Abyss was only had one run, and it was right before Adam Pearce. I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff when you think about the legacy.
And Abyss is a trainer now at WWE.
Abyss is a huge deal. Abyss is one of those guys who's a huge deal without really ever being a WWE guy. But he's probably the most well-known outside of Sting. Right? Like, never a WWE guy. Sting! Yeah. So Adam Pearce becomes champion. We love it. 2007. Okay? He's champion. 2008. When else did he become champion? 2010, he was champion. Okay.
NWA champion. So how
NWA
many?
champion. 2011, he became champion.
Right.
Again. Okay. What I'm saying is that this guy, when you add it up, you add up all the reigns, okay, all the Roman reigns.
Right.
This guy's a 4-time NWA champion. Okay.
Right.
And that means, in the same way that Randy Orton becoming a 14-time WWE champion is significant, because the only people who have done that are Ric Flair, John Cena, and Triple H, right? That's how significant it is that Adam Pearce is a 4-time champion, because the only people who have had that belt, that prestigious belt, that many times are Ric Flair, 10-time NWA champion, which let's just appreciate Ric Flair for a minute here, okay?
Right.
The fact that Ric Flair is the most decorated WWE/WCW champion with 16 recognized reigns, that's completely separate.
Right.
No Venn diagram intersection. Completely separate from the fact that he's also the 10-time NWA champ, the most decorated NWA champion of all time. So that's huge. He's got 10 reigns. The
Right.
King, Harley Race, who I always want to put on lists like Rushmore because he really is the guy before the modern era. Harley Race, 8-time NWA champion.
Right.
Jeff Jarrett, 6-time NWA champion. And then the 4th most decorated NWA champion of all time is Adam Pearce at 5 reigns. And the guy who rounds it out with 4 title reigns is Lou Thez, who is the longest running NWA champion, who's basically like the first or second NWA champion ever, depending on who you ask. He's the guy, I don't know if you guys remember a man named Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the guy had 4 moves. He had the stunner, he had stomping mud holes where he just kick you in the corner. He had a dog shit moveset. And he had the Lou Thez press, where he would throw you against the ropes, jump on you, kind of onto your chest, and then start hammering fists.
Right.
That's the Lou Thez press. Lou Thez is no laughing matter, folks. This guy's a huge deal. So we got Adam Pearce, Lou Thez, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Jeff Jarrett. Those are the most decorated NWA champions of all time. We are dealing with NWA royalty when we talk about Adam Pearce.
Right.
Postman Pearce. This guy is wildly significant. And I got to tell you, he's been a fantastic general manager. He's been the best general manager we've seen in years. And he isn't even really the general manager. He's like when Journey got a fucking, no, not Journey. What's it called? Train. You ever see that Train interview on Howard where everyone in the band is in the original band except for the piano player?
Bro,
is
of course
the
I saw
touring
that.
piano player. So they don't make him an official member
of Train,
of
and then
Train.
Howard just keeps being like, "Yo, are you gonna put this guy in Train or what?" Like,
He's been with you guys for 10 years. You guys are all splitting all the royalties. This guy's getting like a salary. Like, yeah, he's in the band.
Howard always does that. He pokes those fucking wounds. Like the amount of times Howard has an interview where so another time he did that was when Coldplay came in. And Coldplay was in there, and then he's like, "Yo, what's the you got 4 guys here. What's the breakdown of pay here?" And by the way, another thing about Howard that's so shitty is he won't talk about his money and what his guys are paid and stuff like that. But so they'll push back on it. But he has so much money that everyone's like, "Why are you busting my balls over money? You're getting paid like $500 million a year." Anyway, but the funny thing is that when Chris Martin of Coldplay was in there, he was like, "Yo, what are you paying?" And then he's like, "Well, it's like Well, and then he didn't want to answer, but then eventually he answers. And did you know this? That Chris Martin gets paid. So there's 4 of them. They split it 5 ways, and Chris Martin's a double. Gets a double. He's a 2-5.
That's a good deal for those guys. I was expecting him to get half, and the rest of them split the other half. This guy's writing every song. He's the face of the band.
Well, that was his argument. He's like, "Oh, I write the music." He's like, so it's almost like I'm 2 members of the band. I'm the lead singer, and then I'm writing the music.
Dude,
also.
I agree with him.
He's like, none of them care. They all seem so grounded. I think they're all like, "Yo, we hit the lottery, so I have millions of dollars, and I play a drum."
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that. Look, I think it's shitty when you're Train and everyone's splitting the money, but one guy who's been in the band for 10 years because he's not the original guy and you have him on a contract. He doesn't get the same money as you guys. That's fucked up. Fuck Train. Coldplay, you're splitting it 5 ways. One guy's getting 2 shares, but that guy's the guy who's literally the whole band. It's all good.
So I just
So basically, what I'm saying
you're
is,
saying
the
he's
reason I
number
bring it
4,
up is,
but Jeff Jarrett being number 3 is also surprising to me.
it is surprising. But before I get into that, I just want to say
Yeah.
the reason I'm bringing this up
Yeah.
is because that's how they're treating Adam Pearce. This guy has been the GM. I don't care what you tell me. Certainly since August 28th.
Yeah, he's
when
in the
he got
GM.
those
They just call him
signatures.
WWE Official, which is just a tweak. It's fine.
No, it's not fine. This guy deserves GM status, okay? This guy is the best GM we've seen in a decade, and they're calling him an official? They're not giving him his share of the money, baby. They're not giving him the respect. You know me. You know what wrestling is all about to me. What is wrestling all about? The one thing that makes wrestling better than everything else for me is this.
Someone you idolize takes you under their wing from day one because they see something special in you.
That's Triple H talking about he's upset with Taker.
What do I love about wrestling?
Respect.
It's all about respect.
So here's
it's
the
all
thing.
about respect. They're not giving him the respect he deserves as an NWA legend and as truly the GM. The fact that they're not calling this guy the GM is fucking bonkers to me.
So do you think, how old is Adam Pearce? Do you know?
Do I think? I'll tell you exactly how old.
I said,
Adam
do you know
Pearce
how old he is?
Is 42 years old. He's the Quattro.
Okay,
Deuce.
so he's not even old.
Right. He could beat Roman Reigns and then have a 10-year career in WWE at the top of the card. 42
in wrestling nowadays is like 42 now in wrestling is like 32, right? Like these guys wrestle like, you know, some of these, like a lot of top guys are 41 years old, AJ's like 44 years old. I mean, AJ's a freak of nature, so that's like not a great
freak of nature.
But look who, all right, so but okay, so you didn't see SmackDown last night, right? So here's the thing. So what happened was on SmackDown, like, so Adam Pearce, so he's only 42 years old. He won this gauntlet match to face Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. Now, can we just put this in perspective for you guys? He's a huge man. The 2 title matches at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this year are Roman Reigns versus Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. Like, that's wild. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I would love to see Roman Drew run that one back, have a rematch, and then have Goldberg versus Adam Pearce. That to me is a way better pairing.
Goldberg, Adam Pearce. I think that'd be a squash. But no, we'll talk about Goldberg first after this. But so basically, I want to know, you're talking about respect. So the way this went down on SmackDown was like Pearce, Roman just was kind of dogging out Pearce, you know, because he's like, yo, you're a thorn at my side, man. Like, I don't like how you run your ship. I'm the head of the table, essentially. Then he put him in this gauntlet match. He's like, and then he went in there, was pretty scared of him. They beat the shit out of Nakamura, and then they basically threw Pearce on top of Nakamura. The point is, he's like very scared of of Roman Reigns, you know? So do you have a problem with like them? Would you prefer them to book Adam Pearce in a role that shows the respect of the NWA title? Because Vince does not give a shit about what you're saying.
No. Vince will never look. You have to understand, WWE is its own universe, and the worst part about it is how little they respect anything outside of WWE. Right. But this is more for the boys in the back. When I'm speaking to the people, it's for the boys in the back. Okay. I'm speaking to you as a true wrestling fan of all platforms, right? Not just WWE. And I can understand WWE's strategy. This is what they're always like. So, of course, they're going to be what they're going to be. Completely in WWE universe, I think it makes sense. Look, the guy's an official. The guy's back office. He's not a wrestler. It makes sense for the booking for him to be, like, really afraid to have to fight Roman Reigns. I'm fine with that, even though we know he's not. We know he can hold his own, right? So, you know, I'm not, like, mad that they're making him look weak because at the end of the day, Roman is their champion. And Pearce is not even a wrestler. So I get that booking. That doesn't offend me. Would it be so much cooler if they nodded to and be like, look, Pearce is nobody, man. This guy's a decorated former champion outside of WWE. And honestly, if he could find a way to dig down deep and get back in touch with that part of him, Roman Reigns could have his hands full. That'd be a cool thing for them to do. The fact that they're not doing that, I'm not mad. I don't need them to give him that on-screen respect of being a former champion. I need
that feels more like an
listeners.
AEW thing to do.
Absolutely. I need the Cow listeners to give Adam Pearce that respect. I want you guys to know.
Is Adam Pearce one of your guys?
Adam Pearce, absolutely one of my guys. 100%.
And the winner of that match will go on to face Drew McIntyre for the
And even
That's
that, he
his-
recovered so well.
Well, to be honest, the optics, I think people love it. I actually think that thing holds up. Like, I think people are like, that was fucking mad funny. Like I don't think it affected him negatively at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that
He
was
got him a
his
title
like,
shot.
that was his like sex tape or whatever. You know,
That
like
was his Titus O'Neil tripping on the way to the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, except for that is the only thing about Titus's career that anyone will ever remember. Oh, except for that when he got suspended by Vince for shaking his hand. That's true. He shook
know.
Vince's hand. You remember that? That's
Vince is
fucking
a
crazy.
nut job.
And then also they'll remember him for being a good dad. They always talk about how
He's
Titus
a
is
great
great
look.
dad.
There's no look.
Yeah.
As an on-screen performer, I have zero interest in Titus O'Neil whatsoever.
Right.
It seems like he's a really great dude, though. It seems like he just
Right.
really has a good head on his shoulders. Is a great family man, a charitable guy.
Would you say that
doing
he's
great things with his fame?
Someone you idolize.
Someone
No?
I idolize, to be
Right.
honest. I think he's an awesome guy, but like I don't need him on screen. But he needs to remain in WWE so he can continue doing the good work he does worldwide. Titus worldwide, as you know.
That is true. He is worldwide. So
He's
that's
worldwide. He is absolutely worldwide. If you think this guy's on a couple continents like Europe, Asia, South America, wrong.
I got news
All
for you.
7.
So, Adam Pearce, have you watched, be honest, have you watched any Adam Pearce? He's one of your guys. I want to say that's locked in.
Yeah. Let me
Have
tell
you
something.
seen any Adam Pearce matches?
Look, I don't traffic in bullshit. I don't lie. That's
yeah.
not, honestly, I don't lie. You know that about me. I don't
Right,
lie.
like you and Jody Mitchell.
Because I tell the truth, and people don't even believe me, the shit coming out of my mouth. I think the truth is way better than any lie I could ever tell, okay?
Right.
I have not seen a single not even a YouTube clip of a
Like,
finisher.
do you
of
even
Adam
know what
Pearce.
his gear is?
Yes, I've seen
Okay,
pictures of
alright.
his gear. He almost wears sort of a Flairian robe at times. He was almost like a dungeon master Ric Flair type robe. I tell you what, I don't know why I haven't, especially in preparation for this episode. I should have watched a
Right.
couple Pearce at matches, but I didn't because I'm not here to watch his matches. I'm just trying to tell you guys that he's the man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch these matches. I'm going to do it.
Well,
at some
you're a
point.
lineage man?
I'm absolutely a lineage man.
Right. Like,
I love
okay,
legacies.
so let's talk. Okay, so do you have anything else to say about Adam Pearce? Because I certainly do not.
I have one more thing to say about him.
Okay.
Again, this guy, 2020, for months, I was like, who the F is this dude that is just like on screen? Are we
Right.
supposed to know who this guy is? Like, they're not saying who this guy is. I don't know what's going on. He seems to be like the GM, though, but no one's really even
Right.
calling him a name. I have no idea what's going on. Into Postman Pierce, into me finding out he's Adam Pearce. And then like a week or two later, they started calling him Adam Pearce on screen.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then he started growing on me. I'm like, this guy rules. He's the best GM I've seen in forever. They
Yeah.
won't even call him a GM.
Yeah.
Then he's doing so good, they gave him
Right.
his own like right-hand man, who they don't say by name. They have Pat Buck. He rolls around with like his own disciple. He rolls around with like a Buddy Murphy situation.
Right.
Pat Buck kind of looks like Buddy Murphy.
I've enjoyed Adam Pearce.
I'm saying I've enjoyed Adam Pearce so much. They're putting new people under him. He's getting a staff behind him. He's got Pat Buck, Cactus Pat.
Yeah.
And it's coming together, man. I honestly, I'm rooting for him. Come Royal Rumble, I hope he takes the strat. I think it's
Wait, okay. I just want to point something out. You made Adam Pearce one of your guys without ever seeing him in the ring for even a second. Okay.
But I've seen him on screen. I've seen him be truly the best GM since Page.
Okay.
And the winner of that match will go on to face Drew McIntyre.
What
for the
is his finishing move? Do you know?
You know
Without
what?
looking at the wiki,
Let me tell you something. I absolutely
he
do
definitely
not know
does an arm bar. Like he definitely has a
No, I
killer
mean-
arm bar.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you one thing about Wikipedia. Wikipedia, maybe 5 years ago,
Yeah.
had a signature. I mean, had a section for every wrestler called signature moves. And
Yeah,
it would
that's
list
not
all
there
the
anymore?
moves. That has not been there for a couple years. Like, I don't
What?
know why. I'm telling you.
They were also
no-
never right. I've seen them be
No.
so wrong.
They usually have like a championships and accomplishments section, and right before that or after that, there used to be a signature move section, and that section is gone. And now, if you want to see that, you have to go to like Pro Wrestling Wiki. But I don't know why Wikipedia like downsized their wrestling content. They should be upping that stuff. I need more. I want to know from when to when they did the signature move. When was it a finisher? When did it get demoted to a regular move? I want to know it all. Like, I want a lineage in Wikipedia of, the Judas Effect, Code Breaker, Walls of Jericho. I want the whole, what year to what year was this a finisher?
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So can we move on from Adam Pearce for that? Because I want to ask you something.
We can move on when the champion says we can move on. And I am comfortable moving on right now. Not because you want to, but because I am done talking about Adam Pearce. Thanks for reminding me.
Okay.
Seems like you're a little stupid, but you're actually really stupid.
Okay. Anyway, so
real quick, could you just do me the courtesy?
Yeah.
Ask me.
You just said what the flavor was. I have to ask again.
You didn't ask.
Well, what flavor?
GT's Kombucha Watermelon Wonder.
This is Leon Ruff's theme music, which I adore. To be honest, I just want to take it. I just want it to be my theme music. Do you know what this song is?
Leon Ruff, the song
you
is
ready
called...
to come out to this and you're like, yo, I'm about to go win, baby!
Woo! Yo, you know the name of the song? It's called I Likes It Rough by Leon Ruff.
Okay, anyway, coming at you, everybody. Woo! Leon Ruff 101 coming at you. We're having a good. It's 2 for Tuesday down at the Chuckle Hut. All right, let's talk. Yo, Goldberg is now the number one contender.
Goldberg is always the number one contender. Okay,
that is fact. He should switch it up. And be like the perpetual number one contender. That'd be a great gimmick. I'm always the number one contender.
When I walk into any room, I'm now the number one contender.
Yeah.
I show up at a college. I show up at a college lecture. Guess what? I'm the adjunct professor. Okay. I walk into Congress. Guess what? I'm the vice president now. The guy's always the number one contender.
I saw a lot of guys who think they look like Goldberg walking into Congress this week.
I mean, there may have been. I would say there may have been a Goldberg shirt or two because there's probably some pro wrestling fans in there, but none of them are wearing anything supporting.
No, there were Goldberg shirts, but they were a bunch of anti-Semitic shirts.
Yeah, we don't need to get into it, but for anybody who marched on the Capitol, go fuck yourself. And for anybody who marched on the Capitol wearing blatantly anti-Semitic paraphernalia, I will find you, and I will hit you with the title.
Oh, you didn't know?
So here's the thing. You might want to be packing more than the title. The title is made of plastic, which we're very open about.
Oh, I'm getting it fully redone. I'm going to use the best cola nuts and gold to make a nice Hawaiian piece. Deadly weapon.
Are you just saying that, or are you actually doing that?
I'll do that to commemorate my first defense.
All right. Well, so I guess that's never going to happen. But here's the thing, folks.
Bring it, homie.
So, all right,
challenge.
I just want to talk. I want to get your opinion on Goldberg. I find that my take on Goldberg is one of the most polarizing opinions I have, which is, who's next? I'm like, yo, bring me Goldberg. I love Goldberg. I'll take as much Goldberg if he wants to keep going and juicing up. I love Goldberg. Now, I understand why someone would be like, oh, it's Goldberg again, like blah blah blah. And the way they use Goldberg, I find to be like, I get it. Sometimes it's a little interruptive or whatever. Like it's a little. Sometimes it's disruptive, is what I mean. Like
he's a disruptor in the industry. He's like Uber.
So like for when he takes the title off of Fiend because they just need to move it for a Roman match, which they want to book at Mania. Like that's an example of where he's a legend getting in the way. You know what I mean? But like
Right.
I feel like Goldberg as a title match for Drew, where he's at right now in his title run, like to actually go up against Goldberg, it's actually a great match because you're like, will they let Drew beat Goldberg? And it's a title shot at the Royal Rumble, where my mind is that's always a holdover title shot. They almost never switch the titles at Royal Rumble, it feels like. Even that match that we all love, it was Cena, Rollins, Brock. They kept it on Brock, right? Like
that's honestly one of the greatest matches of all time.
That match I adore. It's like
It's the
2014
year Roman
Rumble.
won the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
The year Roman won the Rumble and got booed out of the building. But that match is almost worth it.
Well, Brock is magic in a triple threat because they do the same thing every time where it's like they team up on him, they take him out for like 10 minutes, and then he comes back strong, and it's awesome.
And then Brock's and rolls.
Yeah.
He Brock's and brawls. But that's the other thing. Also in that match, you have Seth Rollins, one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time.
Right.
And you have Big Match John Cena, a guy who I truly hated for the beginning of his career, but then just won me over with nonstop devotion to the business and churning out incredible match after incredible match. You've got three of the greatest in-ring performers ever, three of the biggest icons in wrestling. Like, how do you fuck that up? You don't. It's a 5-star match. It's awesome.
Yeah, the match is dope. The one time they did give Cena the title from they gave Cena the title over off of AJ at a Rumble. But that's like giving Cena a title is like the equivalent of giving Goldberg the title going into Mania season. Like, you know what I mean? So
here's how I feel about
actually,
Goldberg's
fun fact about that. Just a fun
Yeah.
fact. If you remember, this was WrestleMania 33 going into 33, which I know you don't remember, but Cena took the title off of AJ, and then the next pay-per-view was Elimination Chamber, and Bray Wyatt won the title at Elimination Chamber, setting up for a match with Orton, I believe.
Wow.
Was that the same? Yeah, so like
I
they jumped that title around like twice right before Mania. Anyway.
Well, you know, man, they don't know what they're doing. They're going week to week on this thing. They have no
Right.
plan. They're just flying blind.
But I'm saying, so also, you had Sasha versus Ronda at, I'm telling you, Rumble title matches, I remember. Sasha, right? And then, obviously, Sasha wasn't going to take the title off Ronda Rousey going into WrestleMania 35.
Of course.
Right? So that, then you had Asuka versus Becky at Royal Rumble, and then Asuka was actually, I guess they could have gave it to Becky, but then what they did was Asuka kept the title, and then Becky joined the Royal Rumble.
Right. Which was very cool.
Which was awesome. I was there, which was dope.
Did Becky win?
Becky won, and Seth won.
Seth, right?
And they both won the title at Mania.
That's probably, were they dating at the time, or did they fuck that night in celebration? For the first time?
I mean, I don't know if they were dating at the time.
I honestly don't. I don't know if the timeline is. I don't know the exact timeline. I don't think they were dating at the time. I bet they both won the Rumble, fucked in celebration.
Yeah.
Then sort of had like a secret relationship. Then both won the title at Mania, and then fucked Raw.
Yeah, your timeline's way off.
On Raw the next day.
They were dating already by that time.
Yeah, by Mania, but by Rumble they.
Yeah.
Not.
Anywho's, so
anyway, but
I'm asking your opinion on Goldberg.
Rumble titles doesn't often change, and this year is probably no different. I doubt that one of my guys,
because
Adam Pearce, is going to beat Roman Reigns. That's probably not happening. And then
Right.
Goldberg and Drew, I think.
Well, now you have more viable winners in the actual Rumble.
Right, which is fantastic. But Goldberg, who I love, I think he's great. I know what he is. He's not one of the best wrestlers of all time.
No.
He's not like this, legendary performer. But I like that they kind of look in the same way. I didn't like that Brock beat Taker and ended the streak. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it just is what it is, and you have to accept it and be like, this happened. This happens. This is part of the mythology now. This is what's up. Right? I don't love that Goldberg took the title off Brock Lesnar and took the title off The Fiend. Like, I don't love that these things happen, but I can now accept that they happen, and I can appreciate them for like, hey, that's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of cool that Lesnar beat Taker and ended the streak. That's kind of cool in its own way.
Right.
So the character of like Twilight years Goldberg still having enough juice in the tank to still spear out one more champion and like take anyone by surprise. At any moment, this guy could hit you with as much Goldberg as he could muster, and that might be enough to put you out.
Right.
I like that that's a card in the deck of WWE. I enjoy it. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but there's way worse shit than that, man. That's not a problem for me. That could be exciting. That could be fun to watch. And I think that they're going to play that card right now and have him not be able to beat Drew. I think he's going to come to hit Drew with all that Goldberg he's got, and for the first time since he's returned, it not be enough to take the belt off someone. Because Drew's that guy. Drew's that guy that they're putting all the power behind. They're letting him beat Lesnar clean. They're letting him be like the guy that is the guy. And well, they should, right? Because he's jacked out of his mind.
Right.
And he loves the business, and he could deliver great matches. He's awesome. So I think this is finally the guy who Lesnar won't be able to who Goldberg won't be able to just knock out with a quick flash of old Goldberg. And I think that's kind of cool. I like that it's been set up over years and years. This guy could take out a champion, and that he's not going to be able to do it to Drew. That's cool to me.
But do you think Drew will beat Goldberg?
I do.
Or do you think Brock just shows up?
Well,
my prediction is that Brock shows up, and then
So-
there's a chance they'd go for a triple threat of those three at Mania.
I'm going to say that I think there's a really high likelihood that Brock shows up and gets into trouble. But do you think Brock shows up and the belt goes off goes off Drew?
No. Drew's going into Mania as the champ, and Drew's walking out of Mania as the champ.
I don't mind a Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg,
Triple threat?
Andrew McIntyre triple threat. I don't mind that at all. I don't.
Yeah.
A lot of beef in that threat, man. That's a
lot of beef.
Triple beefy burrito right there.
There's a lot of beef out here.
Oof. I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry all of a sudden.
I would adore. The thing is, but I noticed that most people I talk to, don't like that Goldberg is around.
Look, here's what's up. People are always going to dislike guys who are quote unquote stealing a spot. Here's the thing. No one is taking the spot. No one could get what Goldberg's getting. There's not like a whole booking and a whole months of thing. No, Goldberg is like, only Goldberg is allowed to do this. He's a guy who could just show up, be the number one contender for a month or two, and put some asses in seats. Like, he's not taking that opportunity away from someone.
And he passes the Wadowski test. I mean, it's simple as that.
He absolutely passes the casual fan test.
Like,
and some people
anyone
like
hears Goldberg's wrestling, like, they're kind of like, that's cool. My biggest beef with Goldberg is so small. I fucking hate the diapers he wears, like the diaper trunks. The white rim, it looks so bad to me.
Well, is he still doing like a boy short type of
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Look, I love boy shorts on me personally. Like, I like the way they look. They just fit me nice.
I really wasn't asking that. I didn't
I'm just
ask
saying, like,
that at all.
I like a good boy short look on me, right? I think it looks great.
Okay.
For me, for my body type, when I'm at the beach. But when I think of Bill Goldberg, I think of classic Goldberg. I'm not thinking of Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
I think of
I can't control that. That just happens.
I think of classic black undies. I think of like the straight up bikini bottom, black on black, right? That's Goldberg. That's the appeal of Goldberg.
If you watch Goldberg, like primo Goldberg, and by the way, every single person has told me that the Streak special on the WWE Network is amazing. There's like a great
Goldberg Streak.
There's a Goldberg the Streak special.
Dude, let me tell you something. I will absolutely watch that because we're gonna be agreeing 100%. But that guy at the pinnacle of his WWE Championship run, from like being undefeated, from then becoming the U.S. champ, then becoming the heavyweight champ, it's all very cool.
And he still looks awesome though.
He looks great.
Yeah,
but he looked like,
oh my god! I just remembered that Taker match though.
Yeah, that's not a good match.
Wait, I just remembered that Saudi Arabia Taker.
He's not
a good match. It's maybe the worst match of all time.
Yeah, look, it's really bad. But that's the thing. Goldberg is not AJ Styles. Okay, Goldberg is not Rey Mysterio or Eddie Guerrero. All right, Goldberg can do what Goldberg does.
Yeah,
and what he does, if you
and to be fair, those guys are not him either.
100%.
Right, like there's something to say there.
Look, this guy, Goldberg, you're better off comparing Goldberg to Brock Lesnar, okay? Because Goldberg in his prime is a similar mystique to Lesnar. We're talking about, again, I've said this metaphor countless times to you, on pod, off pod. It's like when you go on safari to Africa and you're trying to find like a white Bengal tiger. Look, I know that white Bengal tigers are not native to Africa. They're in India and Russia and stuff like that. But we are looking for the white Bengal tiger. Right. And maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't, maybe he'll show up at Raw, I don't know. But then when look at that in the distance. Oh my God. What? Look over there.
Yeah.
And you see the tiger coming around the mountain in the distance on the Serengeti plain. You just go, wow, that's why I'm here. That's the experience I need. I'm humbled. I'm in awe. It's breathtaking. It's beautiful. It's nature's beauty. That's what it's like seeing Brock Lesnar show up. that's what it's like seeing Goldberg show up sometimes,
Right.
especially in the WCW Primo, in the WCW Prime.
Right.
That's honestly, on some level, what it's like seeing Taker show up. It's this magic, jaw-dropping moment of like, this guy is it, man. This guy's got it. And guys like Eddie are amazing, but they're not this.
Yeah.
This is a special thing. So I don't mind Goldberg being a subpar wrestler and maybe being the benefactor of some really great booking, because that really great booking created a really, really great moment in pro wrestling. It created something that we could all talk about forever that is truly awesome. Like, his streak is fucking awesome.
So I just want to jump quick here, because you're like, okay,
what looks better to you than Bill Goldberg, black undies, big gold belt around his fucking waist,
Nothing,
breathing in the smoke,
nothing
from his own fireworks?
Nothing.
There are very
but to be
few
honest,
things in wrestling.
there are very few things. But what I'm saying is that's the beauty of Drew McIntyre, who actually, in terms of just when you look at him, holds up. Like, when he's wearing the fucking kilt and he's got the sword, it's like full on, like, yo, this guy's locked in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's at the current moment definitely
Lock him in.
definitely at least a half step down from Taker, Lesnar, Goldberg, as far as like jaw dropping, just whoa, this guy.
And also
up.
just like
but he's up
it.
there. But he's up there.
Yeah,
he's definitely up there. He definitely has that more than probably any other quote unquote active wrestler.
Well, here's my argument. I just want to go one step further.
Yeah,
is that I think Drew has found it more than Roman. But what I mean is that I think what Roman's doing is cooler and better in terms of storytelling. Like, Roman looks cooler, but Roman's still a guy coming out in like joggers and his merch, and you're like, but like Drew is like Drew. What Drew is doing is like what makes you a legend, like, which is like,
I agree. Well,
right?
or a specific type of legend, right? It
Right.
makes you one of those.
But
guys.
like, so like, for example, AJ Styles, right? Like, dude, AJ's look is fucking phenomenal and iconic, locked in. Like, I don't need him to change anything. That's my beef with what they're doing with AJ right now, which is like, it's like he's like kind of like funny AJ, and it's like he's trying to be like this weasel, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't need any of that. I just need phenomenal. Just come out, go like this, like just head down, flick the thing up, have awesome match. Like, that's all I want from AJ. And like, that's a privilege to be at that level where I don't want anything else from you. And I almost feel similar. And that's like where I think Drew is a little bit of like a kind of a classic throwback talent of just like, this guy's just the champ, man. Like, that's it. He's just the champ. And what I'd say is this, but I just want to say the last point is that, like, actually, I'll make this point next. Go, finish.
I'll say, and I just have there's a sneaking fear and suspicion, though, that part of my criteria for what makes someone like that epic is that they have to be fucking huge. I don't want that to be true, but like, I look at the list, it's Lesnar, Goldberg, Taker. Those guys are enormous. And
but
Drew
I just talked about AJ.
Yeah, but he's not
tiny.
Look, let me tell you something. The moment I'm talking about, it ain't AJ. It's AJ and Jericho are like a 4 out of 5 on this scale.
Right.
And they could be tiny and be like, it's like, yo, this is awesome. This guy shows up and you're like, yeah, baby. Now I'm ready to watch some wrestling. Like, this works.
Right.
But to be that 5 out of 5, that 5-star, that like literally I get goosebumps. I get R.L. Stein in the vagina when I see Lesnar, Primo Lesnar walk out, when I see Goldberg WCW entrance, or when I see a full Druid Taker thing.
I become a kid instantly. The second Goldberg comes out, I become, and like is breathing. If I see a clip of him breathing in the smoke and going like bam bam, like and the belt fits him perfectly.
Oh my God, that belt was designed for this guy's body. No one else can pull this belt off. It's too big. It's too big for any mortal man.
So
it's
here's
like
the thing.
Mjolnir.
Here's the thing. See, the thing is this. We'll have that drop going forward. See, the thing is
Guys,
this.
we'll have
Can I
that
stay at your
drop
place?
tomorrow.
Can I stay at your place? If you need
See, the thing is
anything,
this.
and I mean anything at all, I'm your guy. You come to me.
Can I stay at your place?
See, the thing is this. All right, but you see, I got a roommate, old Jack. I live down at the Y. All right, so
as you know,
this fucking repeating this has distracted me totally again. Okay, that is like an iconic look, okay? I can't help, but I can't. There's two layers of it, right? Like, so Roman Reigns is frustrating talent to me because now I believe in him as a top tier WWE guy. I'm fully sold on Roman Reigns. I will not make my proclamation of being one of my guys till Monday night after at WrestleMania 37. You know what I mean? I need a mania. I've been burned on too many manias from Roman Reigns. I need a mania.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this guy one of my guys on a mania he didn't show up to for good reason, but he didn't show up to. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not gonna have
look,
it.
I feel the same way about Adam Pearce. I got to
Right.
see him deliver on Mania. Fully make, but I was willing to go one of my guys.
Well,
on good faith.
he could be mania bound. All he's
Sure,
do is
I
take the
would love
title off of Roman Reigns. You know?
If he goes into WrestleMania
Yeah.
as the Universal Champion, I would love it.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that, well, this is a side note, but the Universal Champion thing, it's been a title for like 5 years at this point, and it's like it doesn't work or catch on at all. Like,
Well, I will say making it blue is a huge upgrade. It looks way
no,
better.
it looks
blue.
I even liked the red one. I'm talking about. I know people
I was
hated
in the
it.
building when they debuted that red title. I was in
and
Barclays
you were
Center,
and you were booing it.
I was booing as loud as I could. I was like, "This thing looks like dog shit. What is wrong with you guys?"
Well, I actually don't hate the red title. I know people do. I hated it at first, and then it grew on me. You know. And so what I'm saying is the thing with Roman Reigns is a talent that's fully locked in for me. Like, the gimmick is there. You do this gimmick for his whole career, you know?
Yes.
Right? And it's great, and I love it. It's frustrating to see him operating at a 4 level when he should be a 5. Like, it's frustrating to see him think like, yo, I'm going to come out and just like some cool Jordans, switch it up every time. And you're like, yo, man, lock in the look. And it's like, not like Cena, right? Wore jean shorts. He wore jean shorts until I had no choice but to say I love the jean shorts. Like,
well, Cena's a rare case of that. Like, nothing he did was working for me, kind of ever.
Yeah.
Until
he became the best.
And then I was like, yeah, but this guy's the best. He's not doing this for me. He's literally doing this for children. And guess what? He's inspiring the fuck out of them. And I have to respect this guy for he's just doing his thing and it's not working for me. But like the existence of Cena is far bigger than my opinion of Cena. So I just got to learn to love it. You know, that was it.
Totally. But I'm saying, so like Reigns, it's like when he wore the vest, that didn't work because it's too much cover up. You know what I mean? But like, man, if he starts rocking what is the thing where you'll just be like, wow, it's not what he's doing now. He's got to lose the army.
I think
is it the fucking? It's two things. He has two options. He's got the fucking straight up Fatus, right? Like the Samoan Capris, right?
Right.
If he rocks those, you'd be like, I mean, I can't argue with that. Like, that is locked in. That's right. That or just The Rock, just undies, boots. You're like, that's it.
Look, the not boots. He wouldn't look good in boots. But the answer for Roman Reigns has always been,
you want a guy that size to wear kick pads?
What?
You want a guy that size to rock like kick pads?
No. Boots is fine. I just mean he doesn't need the Rock boots, like the calf showers.
No, not the calf showers. I just mean like Orton boots.
I want him in whatever.
The Orton boots are
Goldberg
snake
wore in
print. Do you
WCW.
notice that?
It was like almost like a mid-top boot, not a very pronounced boot.
Right.
Roman Reigns, the answer has always been the best Roman Reigns is this guy just comes out like Mike Tyson in his prime with very little accoutrement. Just black bikini, let's go. Let's go to work. That's what we want out of this guy. But here's the thing. You're coming at me with a lot of Roman's almost here and he's almost this and it's kind of not working because of that. I'm out on this opinion, bro. Here's the thing. I don't forget the years I suffered through absolute terrible Roman Reigns iterations of the guy, the big dog, and the Taker.
I think he's still the big dog, by the way.
I know, but I'm saying when that was the gimmick and him trying to be funny and the right in the stones or the grapefruits or whatever the fuck he called Vince McMahon's nuts. And I remember just 4 or 5 headlining manias where he just sucked, and I hated everything he was doing, and he was trying to be
And
funny.
it literally cost us thousands of dollars to go watch it main event.
Right. I have been so out on everything this guy's been doing for so long that where he's at right now, I've got 0 complaints. I've got 0 tweaks. I've got no notes. You just keep doing what you're doing, man, because I'll take it. Okay.
That sounds like you're settling, bro.
Not settling, because this is pretty awesome.
No, it is.
Where
it
he's
is
at
great.
is pretty awesome. Okay.
I'm not talking about any tweaks to Roman except the gear. That's it.
But I'm saying look, what we're talking about here is he used to wear a vest like an idiot. And now he doesn't wear that. I'm good. Hey, whatever you got going on, there's no vest. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Right.
Because we're not talking about he did a year with an outfit I didn't like. This guy's entire wrestling career, persona, gimmick, and highlight reel of headlining WrestleMania after WrestleMania is wearing a faux bulletproof vest, which A, makes no sense, B, shouldn't be kayfabe legal because it protects you from impact, and C, looks like shit. So that being gone, I'm a happy man. He can wear capris, he can wear Jordans, I don't care.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm going to do a slight pivot on this topic and just say to you that I'm curious where you stand on gear in general. I notice a growing amount of people in the Facebook group and stuff, which, by the way, I just wanted to point out a small thing. I'll mention this on the actual main episode this week, but is that I've officially deemed the Facebook group the Community. It's officially called the Community. So it's like join the Community. And so, So if I call it in the future the Community, it might be the Community. I might have like the Comedians Wrestling Facebook group. I'll probably say that just because it's fun, but just to say what the Community means, okay?
Okay.
So, but I notice an increasing amount of people who are like, I don't get your obsession with gear and undies. Like, I think there's some people, they watch wrestling and they're like, they don't care at all what they're wearing in ring. And I just like cannot relate to that at all, because I'm like, then you are probably just a sports guy or something, because like, how could you not get caught up in the visuals on this soap opera, this like the pageantry? It's like, I think 80% of it is pageantry. And yeah, as wrestling gets better and better in terms of work rate, that probably goes lower, 70, 60, but it's never going below 60 for me. Like, never. It's never going 50-50 even. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is what separates.
And by the way, in that 60, I also put, when I talk about pageantry, I'm talking about like promo, acting, like all that. I'm talking about the full package of anything, the E in WWE. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is why you have a podcast and people listen to it, and other people don't have a podcast.
Right.
Because everyone likes to evaluate the stuff about wrestling that they care about. We evaluate every single inch of this thing, okay? We're talking about ring attire. We're talking about entrance attire. We're talking about entrance pyro. We're talking about theme music. We're talking about Jimmy Johnston being the man. We're talking about history of Adam Pearce. Like, we love this thing so much that we have no choice, because you and me are thorough guys, okay? We dip in, man. We dive deep. We
See
love
this
hard.
doctor. He's thorough.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not in here to be like, oh, that was a good match, man. I'm looking at every move, every spot, every nuance. How did he look in between moves? How does he carry himself? What's his swagger? What's his promo? What's his catchphrase? I'm taking this whole thing apart. I'm a student of the game. That's why I'm so good at what I do as the champion, because I'm studying every inch of this, as are you. You're a very good champion. You're the 3rd best champion of all time in cow history. So that's what's so interesting to us, is all of it. I want all of it. Some people only care about this factor or that factor.
Like,
some
you know,
people
like
care about
people
the
say
matches.
shit that's so fucking like when it comes to Goldberg, fine, you could say he's old and he's in the way. Like, there's a valid argument there, but you cannot start saying like, oh, Goldberg, he cracked open his head again. You're like, yeah, because he's the fucking man. Because he gets like, yo, more than the match, him fucking doing this, just walking to the ring with security. I don't give a fuck what happens in a Goldberg match. I just want to see him coming out there, knock on the fucking door. See, Goldberg, are you there? And I don't know why Cody seems to be the only wrestler picking up on any of this shit. You know what I mean? He seems to be the only.
Cody gets it, man.
He's
Cody
the only
fucking
guy
gets it.
who gets it, right? Who understands.
But that's the thing. There's so
There's
much
some guys, a lot of the
going
AEW
on.
guys.
There's so much.
You don't
going
like
on.
Moxley, but I think Moxley nails a lot of shit.
No, look, Moxley's definitely the most improved player. I mean, he's doing fine. He's not one of my guys.
Moxley would be one of my guys if I didn't talk so much shit about him to this point. Dean Ambrose. I fucking hated Dean Ambrose. Can I say John Moxley's one of my guys, but not Dean Ambrose?
You can say that, but John Moxley with no Ambrose is still not one of my guys. He's still Jeans Moxley. He's still wearing jeans to the ring, baby. Like, it ain't working all the way for me. To me, he's always just going to be like, he just took a bunch of Attitude Era shit, put it in a blender, and was like, all right, that's my thing. It's not enough for me.
Man. I feel
it's
like
not enough for me.
I find him to be very authentically himself. Like,
he is authentically
Renee
himself.
talks about him, and it's like, he is like kind of like a fucking weird dude. Like, you know?
He is authentically
like
himself.
a loner. Yeah.
But his self is boring to me. It's not something that I haven't seen before. Cody, on the other hand, is giving me everything. He's thinking of every single angle just like I am. He's doing the entrance. He's doing the music, the song lyrics. He's cultivated his own unique style of non-wrestling on-screen appearance gear of three-piece suits and peacoat trench coats. The guy is to the T. He understands it all.
Did you see this, by the way? The Go Big show on TNT? No. I didn't see it either.
With Cody.
But you know what it is, that Cody show, it's like Snoop, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
Burt
it's like
Kreischer.
America. It's called America's Don't Got Talent.
It's the biggest TNT debut of a show they've ever had.
Wow.
Or like in like 15, 20 years, like since WCW stuff. Like, it was big. Like, TNT, AEW is made TNT a channel. Like that,
dude,
they have the NBA. TNT's like one of the only channels, considering like Comedy Central seems like it's dying. Like, all these network cable channels are like dying, and TNT's the only one that is changing with the times. Like, they have some life.
Changing with the times. That means getting AEW. It's like, look, TNT's just ready to adapt, man.
No, because they're giving AEW another live show.
Great.
They're blending.
Great.
They're making like a universe, like the TNT universe. Like, they have a TNT title, and then they got Shaq in there. They got Snoop Dogg was on AEW this week and did a fucking a splash. He did the Snoop splash. He went to the top rope. You're like, it's kind of like people get mad about, like when celebrities come into WWE, but you're like, is this the TNT universe? It's kind of cool, I think.
It's a winning recipe.
Right.
You can't argue with it. It needs to happen, and Cody knows it needs to happen. The guy might be the greatest EVP in all of wrestling history.
So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is like, I'm starting to like just be like, I have this vision in my head of Shawn Michaels entering with mini mirrors all over him, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I see, I was bringing this up on the bonus episode this week. Then you see Johnny Gargano and Triple H, who's a great television producer, a great wrestling producer, a great talent, Triple H, like, whatever, yep. Like, all things aside. As a matter of fact, I'll even say that, like, a lot of people who criticize Triple H also will be like, but he's also, like, awesome, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But so the thing about Triple H is that I'll say is that, like, he gives Gargano on NXT this week a full procession of cars, like 10 white SUVs with green blinking lights. Like, it's awesome. It's like, hey, we're coming to that. And then he's just wearing like a white blazer and skinny jeans. And you're like, fucking Christ, man. If I was what would you wear? They're like, yo, Shebs, you're coming in and you're coming in, you're entering in these vans, in SUVs. What are you rocking?
I got you, bro.
What?
Nothing. And a fur coat, and a floor-length fur coat. Totally nude. They're going to have to censor my dick out. They're going to pixelate my dick, and I'm floor-length mink beige.
But whatever. So, listen, it's the fucking Go Big show. Like,
for me, it's more of like the Go Medium. But yeah.
Another wrestler, but no, I got it. I was distracted by my own
by just the thought of my penis.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the visual. Now, Now I'm distracted by a picture of you that I know I have somewhere.
Well, it stops right there.
Hey, it picks up already. Oh, man.
We lived together
I'm
for a very long
sorry.
time.
Oh, you just knocked the COVID out of me again.
Cheers up. That's all I ever wanted to do, man. I just come to knock
No,
that
I don't
COVID
want to
right
talk
out.
about that. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, so yeah, so I guess that's what I'm saying is that like a lot of these wrestlers, it's a lot of like I'm just like, can we do one of two things? Can wrestlers start being ridiculous again? Can these guys stop being like I'm not saying you got to be professional. Can we just start being like ridiculous? Like a couple of guys I love what they're up to. Obviously biased, but like Ziggler and Bobby Roode. Couple, just like two guys who are like rocking pink, calling themselves the Dirty Dogs. Like
the Dirty Dogs.
beautiful,
It's incredible.
It's beautiful. Like
I will say this: Jericho always remained ridiculous. He's always been ridiculous. It's
exactly.
incredible. Every second you see this guy, it's absurd and it's amazing.
Yeah, can we just start having fun with wrestling? Like, can we start having more fun? Now, a lot of it is fun, but it's like it's kind of like what rubs me the wrong way now. Like, I don't know. I just kind of turned on him a little bit, even though he is definitely one of my guys. Amazing wrestler, great on the mic. It's Kevin Owens. I've kind of turned on him a little bit. Like, he comes on the screen, and I'm just a little bit like, I don't know what the feeling is, but I'm like, can you go a little further? Like, I think what
you're,
is it?
Well,
You tell
first
me.
of all, I will say, not too long ago, like maybe a month or two ago,
Right.
Maybe 6 weeks, you were like, you got to see Kevin Owens on NXT. It was incredible.
I know.
Like when he did
Dude,
commentary.
he was amazing there. He is
Right.
amazing. There's just something
Right.
about him where I'm like, can you go even more nuts?
Because I think he
Yeah.
suffers from a little, sometimes it's a thin
Right.
rope to walk, because when he did it in NXT, it really worked. But when he does it on WWE, sometimes it doesn't. He has a little problem with ironic detachment sometimes, where he's
Yes.
like kind of making fun
It's
of
not
what's
a little.
going on.
It's big. He goes for like jokes that sell out the other performer.
Right. And so
Right.
that's not always great.
I hate that.
But sometimes it's very great. And so
Right.
what I'm going to recommend is a little bit different. I think because he does the ironic detachment, it's tough to then get into serious mode. Like there's like, no, now I'm going to mess you up more mode. Right.
Right.
And I think
he used to like have almost a Orton-ish thing. I also think his stunner is so bad it's distracting.
Right. I
But
think the
also,
stunner's
he used
the
to go
stunner's
into
hurting.
that zone. Remember?
But here's the thing.
Right.
It's because he
Yeah.
is just one of those guys that no matter what happens, he's
not a
just going to
babyface.
make more sense as a heel.
Yeah.
He just makes more sense as a heel. What?
He's not. I know what you're saying. You're saying he's not a baby face. It's just
Right. So
Right.
when he's like being funny and you can still laugh because he's like a gray, and then he wants to flip to being an asshole, but he needs to really be a heel to make you then feel like he's really being a threat and an asshole. And if that flip is still like on the right side of the law or being like a good guy who's just like, and I'm tough too, you can't do both. It's very hard to be ironically detached and then try to be tough if you're still in a good guy zone. If
I know.
you could do it as a bad guy, you got a little bit more juice in the tank.
But I understand Vince wanting to try Kevin as a heel because he
Absolutely.
kind of looks like the
I mean, as a face-
everyman and
As
that.
a face, you mean?
Oh, as a babyface, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
as a face, you can imagine Vince being like, "Yo, he's like kind of like Stone Cold. Like we give him the stunner, and like
Right.
he's an everyman, he's a father, and like he's doing that." But then there's just part of me that's just like, "Yo, these other guys would mess you up, bro. You are like, you know, what I mean? You need to be hitting people with weapons, and then when you do that, it gets a little heel." You know, and then
for
you
sure.
want to see him go to that place where he's like, "You'll never be me." You look like, you know.
Right, right. Well, look, I'll tell you what.
But like
most
guys that are nailing it, Damien Priest, his gear's always fire. The guy looks like a pro wrestler. You know,
I mean, can we just all just give me some credit here? That like the minute I saw this guy, I'm like, Damien Priest, one of my guys, get on board. This guy's incredible.
Correct.
I'm willing to give you that. I'm full. As much as I dislike agreeing with you, I totally agree. I feel like you said that you were feeling him, and then I started eyeing him up closer because you said that. I'll give you that.
Right. And then you look at him, you go like, yo,
Just
this
like
guy's
I
doing
did with you, I feel like with Edge, I did that for you.
Yeah, you
And I
did that for me with Edge because we both grew up and Edge was just like a skinny little freak show. We're like, what? Who is
You
this
think
guy?
you know me?
And I started being
We
like,
didn't.
yo, I think Edge is not just really, like, not just working. Like, I think Edge is like killing it. Like he's
right. And then I was like, Edge?
Yeah. You're like, the camera used to pan to find him, and he'd be wearing bug-eye glasses. Like,
yeah, that guy.
So bad. I didn't
Although
even like Edge when they were Edge and Christian. Like, the matches were entertaining, but I never was like, you know?
No, like as the Brood, it was weird. I mean, they were always weird. But no, Edge became incredible. He really found a second wind when he became the Rated R superstar. I mean, he's awesome. We all love Edge. But let's talk.
We all love Edge, don't we, folks? We love Edge.
We all love him. But let's talk about Damien Priest real quick. Or in my mind's eye,
Lance Archer.
No, Punishment Martinez. I got to get this guy back to Punishment Martinez. It's such an awesome name.
Well, it's hilarious because he comes out, he enters, and he comes out, and he's like, looking awesome. He's like, to me, he's like, I put him in that Orton, like he's like a hot dude zone. Like, but
He's
it's like a guy
dude.
who I know women are not feeling, but but we are like, that's what attractive men look like.
We're like,
and women
man,
are
if
like,
I could look
what
like,
is
if I
wrong
could,
with you?
if I could look like that guy, it'd be easy street, man. Women would be going nuts for me.
That's what
but
we
that's
think,
just not
right?
true.
Like that's what, It's not true at all. It's like there's a couple of guys like that. It's like Batista is like, I'm like, yo, I would kill to look like Batista.
Dude, Batista, I don't for a minute think any woman is trying to have sex with Batista.
No, but I'm
think,
trying to have sex with Batista.
Orton, McIntyre. I'm like, these are guys. Like, of course, women are like, got to be going crazy, and it's like, no, I'm afraid of those men.
So this is like Damien Priest, right? So he comes, his music hits. His music's pretty good. Anyway, so he comes out and he shoots a bow and arrow like into the screen. It says Damien Priest, and you're like, all right, that's fucking weird. And then
like all right, bro, fine, I guess.
And he's wearing a fucking like basically a puka shell necklace, but it has arrows on it, and you're like,
sure,
all right, everything else looks cool, but all right, that. And then like he shoots a bow and arrow, and then they go from New York City. He's billed from New York City, but he's an archer. He cuts his promos on a rooftop. He drives a fucking BMW sports car. Like,
none of it adds up. That's the thing. I said, you got to give me 10 minutes with this guy with the book, because I would go, all right, right off that, right back to Punishment Martinez. We're getting rid of the archery.
Such a better name.
We're going right back to, and we're making you like a New York guy.
Wait, Shebs, because this is set up your conversation here. It is. I've been cruising the dirt sheets. Pandemic. I've gotten a lot more dirt sheety. Obviously, like
you got more time on your hands.
Yeah. So I'm cruising the sheets. Damien Priest apparently lost his match to Karrion Kross and is being called up.
Love it.
To wrestle. Fuck! I took a picture of it. I think I sent it to you. He was actually was already supposed to be there. And then they changed the booking. Hold on, I have a picture of this. Here it is.
I don't think you sent
one. After being he was removed from the Kevin Owens Roman Reigns storyline. Damien Priest is now being called up to Monday Night Raw. So they were gonna inject him into the Kevin Owens Roman Reigns. That's what the sheet's saying.
Nuts.
Yeah,
that is a
way
too
big. Come on, Vince sees this guy and is like, yo, I can work with that.
It's like, oh yeah, baby, give me some of that.
Yeah,
I'll take 10 more of that guy.
So he's gonna come up. Let's just think about this, okay? Damien Priest, he's coming up, and Vince is finally giving, because Vince is not watching NXT, just like everyone else. All right, and then he's like, Vince is gonna be like, all right, cool. This guy looks great. He's gonna be like, Hunter, what's his deal? Who is this guy? And he's like, all right, here's what he is. I'm really excited about this guy.
Really been, Vince. We've been working on this guy, and here's what he is.
All right, great. All right, so what's his name? This guy, he's got to be, I don't know, something, maybe like the Punisher or something.
Punish me, yeah.
Yeah, what are you calling him?
All right, Vince. This is the guy. We're calling him Damien Priest.
All right. Okay. All right, Damien Priest, kind of, I guess. He's like, I don't know, biblical. Is he he's a religious guy?
No, he likes to shoot arrows at the Titantron.
Wait, what? Okay, he shoots arrows at the Titantron. Where's he from, this guy?
New York City.
Okay, so
it's a city you idolize.
If you didn't marry my fucking daughter. I mean, none of this makes any fucking sense. You've heard the last guy you sent me is a big black guy who has all his names named after anime.
I don't even know what anime is.
He's got an Asian name. It's a black guy with an Asian name.
What is he, Tiger Woods? The fuck is going on here?
Oh man! So what do you think Vince does when he actually when he gets him? Do you think he calls him Priest or Damien? I mean, that's the first question.
I think they're gonna call him Damien, which is a mistake. They should go with Priest.
Priest is kind of cool, but doesn't fit what he is either.
I really, 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 really hope that they just start calling him Punishment Martinez again.
Punishment Martinez is such a good name.
It's one of the best names in all of wrestling. And
yeah,
my other hope is that they cut the bullshit and give him his indie finisher back, which he uses as a signature, the South of Heaven chokeslam, which is a sit-out chokeslam. That is a fire move that no one does that looks incredible for a big guy.
Into a sit-down? It's kind of like a double-handed choke.
It's a one-handed choke slam, but then when he choke slams you, he also jumps. He jumps, so he lands on his back or his ass. He lands on his butt or his back.
And you land on your face?
You land on your back. He picks you up for a choke slam.
I can't even picture that.
He picks you up like a choke slam for Kane.
Yeah.
But when he slams you down, he takes a little jump. He just jumps in the air, so he lands on his butt sitting.
Right.
And you get choke slammed.
Okay.
He does it. He does the move. He just doesn't use it as a finisher.
Okay, so
I think Phil Pesapane is a big South of Heaven chokeslam fan, if I recall.
It sounds cool. I like that. What? So,
dude, he does the move. Are you not watching? See, this is why I'm watching so close.
Wait, I definitely have seen it. So he chokes you, and then he falls back, and you fall forward.
Yeah, he takes a little jump, so he's falling like
you both fall on your back, right?
Yeah, or sometimes he's kind of like just sitting on his butt instead of hitting the full back.
Yeah. So he gave Karrion Kross a razor's edge on Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh no, he also gives the razor's edge.
Yeah.
Look, man, I saw this guy in one match do that chokeslam, the razor's edge, a couple big boots. I was like, this guy has a moveset that is a top 5 moveset in active duty right now. This guy's moves are off the charts. He looks great in ring. He moves well. He carries himself well. He's 7 feet tall. I'm like, this guy has got something.
Which is not something that can be taught.
You cannot teach that.
So with Damien Priest comes up, Vince, I am predicting that Vince fixes this guy. I think Vince, he's already wanted to inject him into the main event, which means he understands
that's
this guy's
so
pretty interesting.
Crazy.
But the thing about Damien Priest is they got to figure out he doesn't have to cut a great promo. He has a great voice.
They just have
to write for him correctly. Like he's got to just like say, he just use that beautiful bass voice and just be surrounded by babes. That's all he needs. When he won the North American title and he was in the hot tub with babes, Triple H.
It was great.
It was fucking awesome. Just have this guy do a less extreme version of just like 80s rocker, but he doesn't have to be 80s at all. I just mean like surrounded by babes. Busty babes, and that's all.
Preferably in a hot tub,
and not the women wrestlers.
Right.
I don't need him to be with they're wrestlers. I'm talking about some local talent. You know what I mean?
Look. When Godfather used to go town to town and do the most attitude era degrading shit ever, where they just hire a bunch of
none of it has to be
aspiring
degrading.
models.
You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, I'm saying nothing he needs to do needs to be degrading,
Right, but I'm saying they would hire some print models in town, people looking just for some TV money, and he would call them hookers. He'd be like, "Look, I'm here with all my prostitutes."
It was the hoe train.
It was the hoe train. Yeah. We don't need to do that, but we could call those same phone numbers. We could still get that type of person.
Right.
You go to Pittsburgh. Okay, what are all the girls in Pittsburgh who are trying to break into modeling or on, whatever, small acting gigs, commercial auditions. Let's get them and just put on a cocktail dress and hang out with Damien Priest.
Yeah, just head to the pit. or whatever it's called, whatever the local strip club is. But I'm just saying, this guy, let him be a fucking cool New York City guy, and that's it. That's it. It's done. That's what he is, really. He drives a Dodge Charger, but he shoots bow and arrows. It's like the fucking stupidest thing that they're doing in NXT. Anyway,
We're a little all over the place here.
yeah.
We're a little all over the
Anyway,
place. I mean him, not you. I just mean like him.
well, I think Triple H, you can't blame him. You have this, like, when you're the creator of something, and he's like, yo, this guy, he shoots an arrow at the screen. Like, the visual of that is very cool, you know?
Yeah, it looks,
and,
look,
like,
it's cool. It's just we don't need
it's
it.
time to kill your darlings, though, you know?
Right.
But anyway, so I think that's what's going on. But
I
so I want to
bet-
say this.
I bet he likes, like, that he did a whole character shift for WWE. He's like, yo, this is my thing. Like, he put together a nice little character here. I just prefer everything to be the same except he's Punishment Martinez. And he does the South of Heaven as his finisher.
Right. All right. Anyway, let's get out of here because I got to pee. But I wanted to say Keith Lee main evented with Drew McIntyre on Raw this week. I talked about it on the episode, but I just I didn't talk about it with you. But Keith Lee, I just think is just. He also had a couple moments where he was like looking like he was really selling like, yo, this is a big night for me. I got a title shot, and then he did a Spanish Fly to Drew McIntyre, and I was like, yo,
that's incredible.
Keith Lee is fucking good. Keith Lee is fucking good.
Look, Keith Lee is a really good in-ring wrestler. He can do some really acrobatic shit for a huge guy. As you know, being able to do really acrobatic shit does not a great wrestler make, Ricochet. Okay? Some guys can do... There you have it. I rest my case. That is just but one element to make a truly great wrestler. Now, I'm all for throwing Keith Lee in cool matches, put him in a Money in the Bank. I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm just saying as a pro wrestler, as a well-rounded talent, he is literally bottom of the barrel on every single conceivable thing that I want from wrestlers, except for the actual in-ring stuff, which is very, very important. But that is not enough.
But
He
see, the thing
cannot
is
cut
this.
promos. He
What I'm
sounds
saying
like
is that
Uncle Phil.
I'm going
He cannot
off-
dress.
All right,
He
we've been
cannot
through all
talk.
this. We've been through all this. I'm just pointing this out, is that as a viewer of pro wrestling, Keith Lee, similar to like a Darby Allin, which is another guy you beef with his deal, right?
Hold on. Don't even put them in the same category. Darby, I say, this is a great wrestler, and he's got a thing that I get that people like. It's a little convoluted for me, and he's not one of my guys, but I totally get why he's awesome.
He's one of
just
my
not
guys.
For me. Keith Lee, I think that if you say you like him, it's because you're an idiot, or you're just one of those guys who only cares about the in-ring stuff.
Okay,
And in
well,
which case,
all I'm saying is this, and I'm not getting into the specifics. I'm just saying this from a purely gut standpoint. Okay, Keith Lee and like Darby, these are guys who like when I'm watching, my jaw drops a lot at moments they have, and that's fucking cool. So good for them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's it.
that's awesome.
All right. Anyway,
That's important. It's important.
Anyway, so all right, let's get out of here. Are you cool with getting out of here? I know
Yeah,
you're
bro. I
called
got a 4:00 appointment at the beach. I gotta watch the Waikiki sunset.
You're literally heading to the beach right now, right? That's not even a
Yeah,
joke.
I'm wearing my Dwayne the Rock Johnson original era sleeveless cutoff. That's beach gear, baby. Maybe I'll get a pedicure, take a little spa day, and then just wash it out with some salt water.
All right, so that's so you don't get COVID, right? Just wash the COVID. I got it. So two things is first off, the people you're saying now? I just want to be clear for me, is that like you're going to be doing these episodes as the champ, Outsider's Edge.
Yeah.
It's called the
As
Outsider's
needed.
Edge.
As needed. We
As
will
needed?
have new episodes of The Outsider's Edge as needed. When something happens in the world of wrestling that you guys really probably should hear what I have to say about it.
Okay.
Right? Because things happen. Maybe it's every week. We don't know. But you know stuff is happening, and you're going to want to hear what the champ has to say. Because let's be honest, I'm a content king. I drive the ratings up. I move the needle. I am the needle mover. And I'm helping the pod. So as my gift to you, Dan, my best friend for life, I'm ready to start becoming a real permanent fixture around here, a semi-permanent fixture. It's the Outsider's Edge coming to you whenever you need it.
All right, and I just want to say that 2 points is that to people who are people are messaging me, posting in the community Facebook group. People are saying, Shebs, you're a controversial figure, and I want to say 2 points, which is 1 point, which is, just want to be clear. One, I respect that title. That title's always been that the champ's allowed on the show, and is privileged to be on the show at will. It's just one of the perks of that title, because the cow title really means something, and it's been an honor and privilege for me to hold it and win it. I was going to say defend it, but it's not been one of my strong points, I'll be honest.
I don't know if you ever have.
Yeah. And then I also would like to say that. So that's why I have you on the show, okay? And I also want to say that the content is undeniable. Whether you like it or not, when we go pro, when we go Brett and Sean, the shit is this content I stand by. I think it's really great. And as painful it is for me to sit here and I'm able to be a pro about it, you can't deny the content when me and Shebs go toe to toe here.
Brett and Sean is the right metaphor. We are like Brett and Sean in here. For you, you're feeling the animosity. For me, I think we're more like Hunter and Sean. I think we're DX, man. I think we're just vibing hard. But I know that you feel like it's more of a Brett and Sean thing. And I love it. Two guys who have their differences who just make magic in that ring.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming. Shebs, anything you want to plug out here while you're here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd like to plug that yap of yours. No, I'm kidding, man. We're homies. I was just gonna say, the one thing I want to just address is you said, that the way I got this title is maybe nefarious. Like it's not the coolest way to take a belt or something like that.
Yeah.
I ask you, and I ask all fans of pro wrestling everywhere, when you think of some of the greatest title changes of all time, one of those is undeniably has to be the heist of the century. It's Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank in the middle of the Roman Brock match, okay? Sometimes the best thing for wrestling, the greatest content you could come up with, is a sort of heely heist. All I did was give you guys what I knew you needed. I've made great content. I'm going to continue to make great content. And maybe it wasn't some storybook, babyface on babyface, Hogan against Warrior type, meeting. But I think what we did is just as epic, man.
Okay.
It was the Waikiki Sneaky. It'll go down in history.
Do we have to relitigate this every time? Could we,
I'm just saying,
just
it was a great moment
for content for the pod.
I'm saying you guys could say, if it was underhanded, it was dastardly, whatever antiquated, adjectives you guys use. I think it was a great moment for the pod. I think it was a great moment for the title. I think it's one of the all-time great title changes in the history of professional wrestling.
Okay. I'm glad you think that. Anyway, everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast. These episodes, I'm going to reach out to you, Shebs, off air to see, if we can make some kind of – sounds like you don't want to make some kind of schedule for this. You want to just do it as needed.
I mean, it's not a champion prerogative. Right?
I guess these would be listed as emergency Outsider's Edge episodes. And, all right, our episodes will come back. Just a couple things that I'd like to plug while we're here, which is nice, is make sure to follow our YouTube channel, the Comedians of Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. We are really pushing to give you a nice edited show on there. And we have Jabroniak, Phil Pesapani, who's really helping us out, making these all our content more video and podcast based. It'll always be a podcast, but make sure you get both for part of the Cow 20 million D experience or whatever we're at. Probably the 9D experience is technically what we're at. So do that. Make sure follow our socials at COW Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Dan Black Attack. These are things you could do for free that help the show. Is subscribe and follow our content there. And then obviously if you want bonus episodes, which you should want, because I feel like our content's fire there. Go to patreon.com/comedians wrestling. You get access to all every Friday morning. We do AEW NXT centric episodes. Me and Nick Tulo do that. And then also you get access to our archives of Cow Movie Club episodes. So you can listen to tons of our movie club episodes, and then also we do our monthly watching of pay-per-view via Zoom together, socially distanced and saved on the Cow Zoom Thunderdome, where we hang out and watch together. This January 31st, we're watching the Royal Rumble together. And Shebs, as the champion, you are obviously invited to the Cow Zoom Thunderdome.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. I mean, I don't need an invite because I am the champion, but I will try to make it. It really depends, like if I got a luau to go to. I know we're doing some pig roasts at the end of the month, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to make it happen. Guys, follow me on socials also at Shebiro, Shebiro, Sierra Hotel Echo Bravo India Romeo Oscar. Give me a follow, not because it's the right thing to do.
Echo Bravo India Romeo Oscar Shebiro.
But just because you're going to want that hot content, baby. I'm doing everything I'm doing for the pod, for the listeners, for the Jabroniacs, for Dan, just trying to help the show. So give me a follow and let's take it from there, baby.
Okay, everybody. And, hey, thanks for listening to the podcast, and keep watching wrestling. Kisses.